Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and may I be the first to welcome you all to the Bridgestone booth today at the Frankfurt IAA Cars. It's a great pleasure to be here today and to be with you again after Geneva. I'm here today with two guests, Stefan Zwikalski from the Bodrum University and Paolo Ferrari, CEO and President of Bridgestone EMEA. Paolo, if I could start with you.
Yeah.
About 6 months ago, we were sitting on a stage in Geneva talking about the time you'd spent already at Bridgestone. Then it was only about 6 months. Now time's moved on. How are your plans moved? And how's things looking for Bridgestone EMEA?
Thank you, Colin, and welcome to everyone, and thank you, Stefan, for joining us. So yes, 1 year now into the job, quite happy. At the time, we shared the fact that as Bridgestone, we are the world leader in tires. In Europe, we had some work to do to catch up. There's this great term in Japanese that is dantotsu, which means to be the absolute leader. That's what the group always strives for, and that's what we are in the world. In Europe, we needed to have a bit more of a challenger's approach because we are a challenger in Europe, and I think the team has responded really, really well. In the last year, we kept on gaining market share in all segments. We gained market share in TBR, in consumer, in OE, in PSR, in ag, in OTR. So pretty much everywhere. We supported the brand very strongly. We supported the markets very strongly. So things are coming along quite well. The whole industry, as you know, is had a tough year from the point of view of the raw material costs.
Right.
So as you probably saw, the results of the first half of most of the manufacturers were hit by the raw material, but I think as Bridgestone, as a group, especially worldwide, we were quite good into compensating, with price moves, with volume, with mix. So overall, things are doing really, really well, and more importantly, we have a pipeline of projects that really makes us feel even better for the future.
Right. And you talked in Geneva about some plans to make additional investments into Europe.
Yeah. So our commitment to EMEA is very, very strong, and the commitment usually is measured not by words, but by investments. We are investing pretty much everywhere in the business, starting from our brand, and we already announced in Geneva our worldwide Olympic partnership, huge commitment from the group. It's a commitment on the biggest platform from a worldwide point of view in sports, a platform that has the highest appeal to consumer in any research that we see, the widest geographical scope. So big investments for us, big commitment is going to work really well on the emotional part. So brand is a big key for us in terms of investments. We're investing in retail, very, very big commitment for us. We made several acquisitions in France. We have a great partnership in Germany with Pneu AG. We have very strong distribution retail in Spain. More to come in the UK and in Italy, so big commitment in retail. OE, of course, we're here. Our OEMs are very, very strong. Our partnerships are stronger than ever. We keep on growing market share with most of the OEMs that you see here displayed. And of course, working with the OEMs for us means staying ahead of the technology curve, right. Which we continue to be. Manufacturing, huge investments from our point of view. We believe in local for local manufacturing, so EMEA for EMEA, Europe for Europe, being closer to our customers. So we announced, we inaugurated a new factories in Russia. Again, big commitment to the region from the group. Big expansion in Poland, in Hungary. But we don't forget also our older plants, of course, in France, in Spain, in Italy. So more to come there as well. So big commitment from a manufacturing point of view. And maybe I left it for last, but innovation and technology is, of course, is our DNA. Huge investments in from the direct materials to the chemicals to the tire technology to everything that has to do following all the different segments. And of course today we're here announcing also new products, which is the living proof of our commitment to innovation. So from branding to innovation across the board, big commitment.
So huge investments all in all. And of course, one of the reasons we're here today is to introduce the new Turanza T005 Touring.
Yes. So the product roadmap for Europe is very strong. Luckily, I've been here only 1 year, but the team has worked on a product roadmap already a while ago, so it takes a while to bring, of course, the product to market, and this is a great example. So Turanza 005 is, in the US, they would call it the power line. It's a very strong brand, very strong product, We start with 90 sizes, but we will quickly go up to 140 sizes, all the way up to 21 inch. So really covering the full range on a segment which is very popular. In tires, we always talk about trade-offs in performance, right? So if you do better in wet performance, you have to give up somewhere else. This is a good example of a tire that talks about trade-ons as opposed to trade-offs. So it's, you know, A label in wet braking, which is fantastic, but it performs really well in dry. Is incredibly improved mileage performance as well, which is also becoming more relevant in Europe. So it's a fantastically well-rounded tire, big range, big sizes, going to the market as we speak, presented also to dealers next week in Athens. So huge opportunity for us in a big segment.
Yeah, it's a very exciting new product. But innovation is not just about the products that we put on the cars as well. I have to apologize for leaving my bike here, but this isn't an ordinary bike, I think.
So I think today we have, actually let me step back. When I joined the group a year ago, joining the world leader, I always looked every day and every week, you know, what is it that makes this group the world leader? And then the minute in which I went to Japan, and I go there 6-7 times a year, and we see things coming out of the R&D, and even at our R&D center in Rome for the European market, you see things that I cannot even talk about that are just amazing.
Yeah.
And then some of these things that I cannot talk about, then they come to market, and this is a good example. Okay, would you ever thought that a tire would look like this, you know, with the resin as opposed to
For the spokes.
Spokes, thank you, I never remember the word. Of course, a tread as opposed to a full. You know, the maintenance on this tire is basically zero.
Yeah.
So for us, it's an incredible step. As we look about the ecosystem evolution, we need to provide tires, we need to provide solutions. We need to provide brilliant mobility solutions. A drive guard run flat tire is a brilliant mobility solution, but this is also an incredible solution because the company that manage fleets, and you know, this could be a bike sharing fleet, they want no maintenance.
Right.
So we need to look at that as well, besides the rolling resistance and everything else. But then we look at innovation at all segments. We don't forget that the OEMs are our key customer, key partners. So we need to work with them. What they push us, right? They push us to the edge. What is probably the number one concern for them today? Rolling resistance. So here we are, delivering to them what we call the Ologic tire, which is a fantastic tire that addresses specifically this rolling resistance issue. It's a top performance in terms of rolling resistance. It's a different size, different diameter, specifically designed for that. It's original equipment on the new i3S of BMW, and more to come. And then, of course, we have projects like the Solar Challenge. This is a clear car that goes into the right direction, right? The only thing that it doesn't self-pilot itself yet, okay? But it's zero emission, and of course it requires tires that minimize the rolling resistance. So it even contributes to the zero emission. So this is a fantastic project for us, not just from a marketing point of view, from a corporate social responsibility point of view, and also from a technology point of view.
That's right. Of course, the Bridgestone World Solar Challenge is a very important project for the company, and one of the teams that we are sponsoring is the team from Bochum. So we have just a couple of minutes of video to let you see what the Bochum team are about and what they're doing, and they're now actually on their way to Australia to race 3,000 miles. In a moment we'll talk to Stefan a little bit more about that. But please, have a look at the video.
Every single individual you have to manage differently. Not everybody else has the same thinking of you. You also always have to put yourself into the other side. Depending on what the others do. I mean, our aim is not to build a car to win. Our aim is to build the best car.
I think the most important part is the teamwork. So if that works, I think we have very good chances. We gave our very best in the last 2 years to build a car that could actually win the race, and I hope that we will do it.
The tires are essential for calculating the battery consumption, and the better the tires are, the more efficient the battery is working.
Dreaming bigger is, for me, is always know your position, but try to improve yourself at all times. There's never an end, never give up, but after that, keep on going.
So, Stefan, it's great to welcome you here today. You're the head of the AVMZ at the university. I think you're the mentor of many of these students and this great group of students that you have. Tell us a little bit about sort of what the project means to them and how they come to get involved.
We are building solar cars since 2003, and it's all about getting good engineers for the work at Bridgestone, at all your companies here at the IAA. That's our goal. We want to produce good engineers, and this is a project which is done by students. So I do nothing on the car. I do just some telephoning, all these things, sketching the car, inventing the car, designing the car, deciding which companies we're working together. That's all made by students. So that's the main goal. We call it problem-based learning. Okay. And the finish of this project is every 2 years going to the World Solar Challenge. Right. So building a car which is able to persist 3,000 kilometers from Darwin to Adelaide on really rough surfaces with your tires. And we are very proud to be here and to show what is able with Bridgestone tires. Of course, tires are quite important because everything has to do with energy consumption.
Right.
If you want to drive only with solar energy, or with mainly solar energy, I should say, you have to look for every possibility where you can lose energy. And tires is, in ecological driving, a main important factor for losing energy. Yeah. And therefore, we have these small tires, and we are very happy to use your tires.
So the support of Bridgestone has been useful and valuable, I guess, both in this, but in the Bridgestone World Solar Challenge as a whole.
And we are very proud that we are one of, I think, 6 teams in the world which are supported directly from Bridgestone, and we are very happy that Bridgestone is the main sponsor for the whole event. Because if you don't have a main sponsor, they are not able to make this event in Australia. And it's very important. You see there are over 45 teams around the world, mainly student teams, and it's a brilliant congress on the street for the students, discussing about ecology, discussing our future of sustainable mobility, and this is, you need a lot of money to make such an event, and it's very difficult to find sponsors therefore, and therefore I think they are very happy at the World Solar Challenge to have Bridgestone with them.
Well, that's great, thank you, and all the best of luck to the Bochum team who are going to be racing in Australia soon.
Thank you.
So thank you all for coming along today. I think we've had a moment to talk about the future direction of Bridgestone EMEA. You've learned about our new hero product, Turanza T05, and you've learned about the technology and innovation that you will see coming to you soon from Bridgestone and the whole Bridgestone group. Thank you for coming. Thank you for spending time with us. Thank you all.